I'm a feminist. I'm an OG feminist. But
OG?
original gangster feminist.
Oh, okay.
Trying to counter some of these trends is that I've read these essays by young college women and young women coming into the workplace saying, I am scared. I was told my whole life, be careful walking alone at dark, but that's not what this is. The cute guy in my Spanish class could be my rapist. And, the professor saying, hey, I'd like you to help me with my research project could be grooming me. The boss could be the next Harvey Weinstein. What if he starts talking to me in the coffee room? I mean, you read these accounts of real terror that any man is likely to be this. And it also goes along with this junk science I wrote about, that when you're a woman is in a sexual encounter, if she doesn't like how it's going, you freeze, you're unable to say no, you're unable to get out of it. So you just, go along with it because you fear for your life in situations that no one could consider life-threatening. We should not create a culture of victimization. That is a terrible way to go through life, to fear half your colleagues, to fear bodily harm from them. When, statistically, does it happen? Yes, but it is very unlikely to happen.
Yes, and I think journalists in most cases, for example, if there's a terror attack, you find a whole spate of pieces afterwards saying it's only 25 people. If you look at the number of people who die from tripping over the lawnmower every week, you get similar things. But you don't panic about this because it has a visceral impact in your lizard brain that is making you irrational in terms of the risks involved. It's also true, for example, that according to the data last year, the odds of an unarmed black man being shot dead by the police is smaller than the odds of him being struck by lightning. But you get, last summer, this notion that the mass murder of random African-American males on the streets by the cops is taking place all the time and no one notices it. And I think that's where people latch onto. You can, if you want to go through your life seeing every tiny little possible thing as an assault on your identity, these microaggressions. If you want to be a gay person, constantly looking around you for proof that 95% of the world has no idea what your life is like, you can. But psychologically, it's so damaging for people to feel so helpless and also to lose perspective, to see the entire world through these prisms. And with the race stuff, it's also, you're being trained to understand the first thing you see about a person, the color of their skin, is the most important thing you can know about them and your relationship, even though you may have never met them.
And they can know about themselves.
Yes. And it's crippling psychologically. It's crippling. The one quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, I think it's been, let's say, ascribed to Eleanor Roosevelt, is that no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And at some point, it seems to me that there is obviously a problem with men in the modern world, certainly since the 60s, and presumably also before that, of them abusing women. I mean, it's real.
There is absolutely no question. The world, kind of described in Mad Men, really existed. A young woman coming into a workplace today. Yes, I read the very interesting account by Charlotte Bennett of the conversations with Andrew Cuomo, which really make you kind of gag. Does this never happen? Of course, this happens.